But first, to the world of audio. An estimated 500 million people will listen to podcasts this year. That's the most in the medium's short history. Since the very term podcast was coined 20 years ago, the format has grown into a $25 billion industry. Spotify just revealed that its top-performing podcast, from Joe Rogan, has over 14 million subscribers. That's nearly 3 times the next most popular show. But the industry's growth has also come with major growing pains. Jeffrey Brown reports for our Arts and Culture series, Canvas.
Let's give it up for Serial.
It was a celebration of an industry, the annual On Air Fest, a showcase for and gathering of the world of podcasting, held, of course, in a hip Brooklyn hotel. The first session marked the 10-year anniversary of the podcast that changed everything, Sarah Koenig and Julie Snyder's Serial.
How many people have downloaded the first season? Do you know?
Probably more than 200 million.
In fact, Serial has over 300 million downloads to date, and it thrusts this medium into the cultural mainstream. Today, On Air Fest is a launchpad for new shows.
You're about to get a first listen of her new limited series with APM.
A gathering place for industry heavyweights like Malcolm Gladwell. And even a platform for celebrities from other fields like Grammy Award-winning singer-songwriter Norah Jones.
Why are you here?
I guess because I have a podcast now. Doesn't everybody?
It can certainly sound that way, with mega-popular talk shows like Joe Rogan's provocative interview podcast.
I mean, it's legal, right?
It's totally legal.
Okay.
True crime.
And she walked into something she never expected. A trail of blood in the front
Music,
room,
art, even cooking shows.
Cooking is a philosophy. Unless it's pastry, then it's chemistry.
Everything for everyone. But if you lean in and listen closely, there's another story still unfolding. A tale of two worlds. Scott Newman, founder of On Air Fest, brought them together here in Brooklyn.
You have an industry that is an opportunist commercial industry around an art form. So everyone with commercial interests is looking to take advantage and play the game.
I started my first podcast in 2008 when I was still in college.
Today, Laura Mayer is executive producer of audio at ABC News and host of her own podcast, Shameless Acquisition Target, a show about her own experiences within the industry as media giants took notice and became major players.
In 2019, there was like a shot across the bow.
That's when streaming giant Spotify bought production company Gimlet Media, an industry leader, for an enormous sum.
The amount was for north of $200 million. And I can remember being like, oh no.
I mean, the world has changed.
The world has changed.
And enormous money has come in.
Yes,
Yeah.
but then these larger companies that had been intending to scale saw that they weren't getting their return on investment. And then you saw in the past, I'd say year and a little bit, huge rounds of layoffs.
The headlines have been grim.
I think there was a little bit of overexcitement, and a lot of people wanted to get into the medium quickly.
Because they felt they just had to be there.
Absolutely, and I think that it was a little bit of an arms race.
Kelly Hurley, VP and Head of Revenue Partnerships at SiriusXM, one of the majors who jumped in, says Sirius remains serious about podcasting, but
I think we're being a lot more rigorous in terms of the deals that we're bringing in.
rigorous means you're looking to see what will make money.
Absolutely.
Part of that rigor, laying off hundreds of employees in the last 2 years, including in the podcasting department. Among them, longtime audio producer John Delore. Like many who came out of the tradition of public radio, Delore had high hopes that the investments by Sirius and others would bring creative freedom, time, and resources.
Ultimately, there was just a misalignment of their strategy, if they had one, but between really what kind of audio they wanted to make in the space. This is a company that their bread and butter is Howard Stern. And so the kind of stuff that we made requires a lot of time.
After the layoffs, Delore co-founded a small independent company called AudioFlux with producer Julie Shapiro.
AudioFlux is a new home for independent audio and new voices and an engine for community in audio and big ideas in podcasting.
What does that mean?
It means that the podcasting world has become very corporate and moneyed, and imagination has left the building. And we're just trying to say, like, there is a space to like think through these things, feel the pieces, play with the medium, and try something new.
I think there's an audience for the kind of experimental, craft-driven stuff that we believe in, that we care about. It's just that we need to bring them new things that they'll want to hear.
Those niche audiences, Laura Mayer says, do exist and can be valuable.
The audience is more fragmented, perhaps, on a per podcast basis. However, those audiences are loyal.
Can both things be true, that the audience continues to grow, but it's still a very difficult business model?
The audience will continue to grow, but I think the business model is being right-sized right now. The obsession with scale in terms of making the one show that everyone listens to, that may not be the case.
Tanya Mosley, co-host of NPR's Fresh Air, is speaking to one audience in particular with her new podcast, She Has a Name, which she launched here.
This is more than trying to solve a cold case. It's about a family in search of healing and a city fighting for its own survival.
I'm talking specifically to people, Black and brown people from urban centers who understand this story, and everyone else can follow along if they want to, and they can be a part of this too. Well, where are they? Where can I capture their attention?
You're reaching out to a new audience in that sense.
I hope so. I mean, at this point, we don't have a template, we don't have a blueprint, so we have to try new things, and also try things that we know have worked in mainstream media.
On the business side, Kelly Hurley of Sirius also sees new opportunities.
We're going to see content creators expand beyond audio and become true influencers. That can mean all forms of social media. That can mean YouTube content, video content. That can even mean a live event, a tour.
On Air Fest founder Scott Newman believes the future is still being written.
It's going to be the people that are here that are going to decide what the future is, through their action, through their investment, through their creative work.
As for musician Nora Jones,
I mean, I'm not going to quit my day job. It's more of a labor of love, and it's fun, and it's just like joyful.
For the PBS NewsHour, I'm Jeffrey Brown at On Air Fest in Brooklyn, New York.